everybody. Welcome back to my Unsolicited Opinion podcast. I am Joy Bailey. My co-host here, Ty and Alan RX, are ready to talk to you all about deal breakers in relationships. You guys, you have relationships, male, female, 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 your cousins, your aunties, everybody. And there might be things that come along in life that you're like, you know what, I just can't F with this person no more. But if you guys are new here, we are prepared to give you our real opinions about real life. If you have been returning to us, I'm sure you've heard the way that we speak about things, and we invite you to engage with us. Make sure you guys come in that you are liking. Please, we need some engagement as well as putting your comments in the chat, because this is a two-way conversation, or one, two, three, four-way conversation. And we definitely want to hear what it is you got to say. Um, Ladies, how you doing today?
Girl, it's been a day. Of course, Saturdays is always a day for me because I'm going from here to there. But today was a special day because today was my grandmother's 75th birthday, and we celebrated that
Happy birthday,
this
Grant.
morning. And so I was we did a brunch with her. Gave her gifts, loved on her, and everything. And so I was very pleased about that.
She's up there with you, or is she in North
Yes.
Carolina?
No. She's up here with me in Baltimore. Actually, my grandmother only lives like a few blocks away from me, so it's good.
Oh,
Yes, like right around the corner, girl.
That is
nice.
convenient.
Well, happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have nothing going on this good Saturday other than, kicking it with you guys. We had, dance this morning. But other than that, nothing in particular going on. But excited about this topic we're about to discuss tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God, y'all! I've had a day.
I know, cause
Not
I hear it
good,
in you.
y'all. Listen, you know how it is when you got kids and you think that your day gonna go one way, and they like, psych, we going this way.
Like your
Right,
mind.
right.
My son and told me that he's doing football. So he boxes or whatever. And so now he's like, nah, like I'm gonna play football. And I was like, this is not my project. I'm not funding this. You need to talk to your dad. Unbeknownst to me, I was the one that was gonna be providing transportation. I thought he was gonna start doing practice at 11 o'clock this morning. The practice didn't start at 2:30. 2:30 turned into a 4:15 finish. I had a open not open house, but like a home buyer workshop today, and it was at a model home. And it was like a sip and paint, and it was gonna be like a whole thing. And I was supposed to be there early, and I had to come home, and I thought I was gonna put a wig over my weave, and it's been a minute, okay? Like it
Mm.
Y'all don't understand. And so I literally got here like right before we went on. So I'm getting it together, but I'm here. So, and we're glad that y'all are here with us as well. We want to see who all we got here in the chat saying, hey.
So far tonight, we have My Sexy is Strong. She's
Hey, Sherry
saying
girl.
everything. Evening ladies. I'm like everything. She's like evening ladies. And
Good
welcome. My
evening.
Sexy is Strong. She's one of our mastermind members. Glad to see you here tonight. Get ready for this topic. Never settle. What are your
Yes.
opinions about that? We're going to get into it, guys. And thank you, my sexy is strong. We got Mr.
Oh,
CKB.
we got
Mr.
big time.
CKB, he's giving us the side eye. Now, why would he want to do that? What's that all about?
Girl,
You
he
know you a
Because
looking.
high
you want
value
to
man. You already know.
act some type
So
of way.
exactly,
He
exactly,
looking, girl. He like, what they about to say on here because
exactly.
it's giving a little bit triggering.
Uh, we'll
Maybe.
see. We'll
I
see.
Good.
but I would say it shouldn't be because I watched Mary J Blige, Taraji P Henson, and Young Miami Carisha um I watched their interview that they did or podcast that they did on BET, and I thought it was like very very insightful. They really kind of like express things from their point of view, and it's a good juxtaposition because you have young Miami who's like still in her 20s, of course high profile, and then you have Mary J Blige. I mean, if you weren't alive in the 90s, whew, what a time to be alive. You understand?
I love it.
Okay.
It
It
was
was
a good time for sure.
it was a time to be alive, and of course Taraji P Henson, who is great in her own, great actress in her own right, and they just had like a, just something like we doing here, ladies. We just sitting back, kind of like, talking about some things, giving their opinions, their experiences on just life, in general. And one of the topics they were talking about was like deal breakers, when it comes to like relationships, and
Did we lose her?
Okay.
Did we lose ourselves? Did we
All
lose Ty?
right. So we're talking about the deal breakers in relationships. I think she's coming back. Uh, hmm.
So yeah, stay tuned,
Okay.
guys.
Oh, look like she's here. Hang on
she's
one.
back. I'm so sorry. I don't know what
She's back.
happened. That is
All right.
wild.
We still got like
Okay.
Where
okay.
did
We're
I
back.
stop off at? I don't know, girl. Listen, I got a
Struggle
lot going.
streaming. Don't worry,
Oh,
y'all.
yeah,
We
Yeah, of
we
trying to
course,
get
of
y'all.
course.
already. Where
We
did I stop
really are.
off
We're
at?
trying. We're trying. We still only about a month old, so we're gonna work these kinks
It
out. So
happens.
We're just
just
testing
be
y'all to
very
see if y'all
patient.
paying attention. See if
But y'all
y'all
was
paying
holding it
attention.
down, though, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I don't know where I stopped off at, but we were talking about Mary J, Taraji, and Young Miami, right? And they did like a little, just a little girlfriends talk. And I talked about, all of that. And one of the things that they brought up was just like deal breakers when it came to like relationships and everything. So we already know, Mary, she's been married. No pun intended, I guess. But Mary is married and she's divorced. And then Taraji, she says she was engaged a few times, high profile engagements, and then young Miami's relationship with P Diddy and just prior relationships. And so they were talking about what's a deal breaker when it comes to like relationships. And I know it's just something that they said that I was like, okay, I can kind of agree, and sometimes you can disagree a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the clip, right? I'm going to play the clip for you ladies tonight. And then once I play the clip, I want to see what you guys think about it. And then we can go to the chat and see what they think about just the thought process of it. All right? All right. We good on that? All right. So let me cue up this clip because, we had a little technical difficulties. Then I got to start all over again. But shouldn't take too long.
Well, while she's doing that, we have some new people in the chat. Mr. CKB, first of all, he's already getting started, guys. He had a stream earlier today, a good stream, but he says, I plead the fifth for now. Okay, we want you to get active in that chat, Mr.
That's how those
CKB.
lawyers talk. You understand?
Exactly.
They
They
know
never
how to speak. You know what I
what?
mean?
Yes, they do. We have the all powerful Thane Midra. He's giving us a side eye. Wait, Thane,
Hold on, give us a
wait before
moment.
you
We let
pass
it
judgment. Just wait to see. Just see
let's
what we
cook
have
it
for you tonight. It's
up.
gonna be a
Has he
good
ever
one.
been in the chat with us before?
I don't think
He
so.
is
I don't think
new to the
Welcome.
so. So
chat, so
welcome. Thank you for
welcome,
coming
Welcome.
thing. We
by.
appreciate you.
We have my sexy and strong. She's one of our loyal ones. She's been here on every stream so
Day
far.
one.
She says, MJB is my fave. I don't want to do anything else. Celeste, our mastermind sis. Another one. She says, good evening, ladies.
Good
She's
evening, Celeste.
our dentist, the pediatric dentist. We might have to do a collab, girlfriend. She also says MJB had those bops back then. Okay,
She
like
did.
she did. She have you all in
She
all of your
did.
feelings.
She
If you
did.
like me and you like to feel your feelings, you
I
gonna put on
know.
a little Mary. If you
I
look
know.
at
I
my
remember I was so
eyes,
sad when I found out she got married. She was all in love. I was like, oh.
the music sucked.
Oh, you didn't want Mary singing when she was
So
in love?
No, we want.
what is
I'm
this?
going
What's all
down.
this dancing? Like,
That
press
was
on it. And dance up. We got
it's
to
sad for
go.
her.
No.
It's sad for her, but we need that music. We need that music, the real music.
Truth be
I need
told,
her crying somewhere.
Mary is outside of my Mary is my top two. My number one is Patti LaBelle when it comes to like singers or whatever. But
Yeah, I
Really?
Mary is my second, and it's real like close. You know what I mean? Like
I love the
I grew up
voice.
in the '90s, and so Mary J. Blige for me, like that. Listen to, my older sister would play her. My mom would play her. It was just like that is a soundtrack for me. And we talk. I listen. I'm not gonna get into her music. This is not that type of channel, but listen, that My Life album,
Oh,
I know.
life is
baby.
only what you make it.
Okay.
Love
So look, so
Mary.
now I have it queued up, guys. I'm gonna bring up when they were talking about deal breakers. So this is what we're talking about here, deal breakers. Here, I'm gonna get you guys here, and we're gonna go ahead and press play here.
Your deal breakers. Lying. Lying is it for me. Because if you lie to me, you will kill me. You will do anything, anything goes if you lie.
I think for me, like a man that don't have his shit together, like when things get messy, lying, it's just shit all over the place. I like the stuff to run smoothly and everything to just be on one accord.
And that's the key word, one accord. Because if anything is not on one accord, it will not work. No business, no marriage, no life, done deal. My deal breaker is not being on one accord.
What are your deal?
All right, all right, all right. You guys, everybody was able to hear that?
Yes.
Y'all,
It's
y'all,
bad.
y'all. Okay, so listen. So Taraji says her deal breaker is lying. She can't deal with the lying. Okay. Mary says Carisha, Young Miami says her deal breaker is what did she say? Oh, things
Lying.
just
Oh.
being like, you know, jumbled, not necessarily, together. And Mary kind of piggyback on that, saying like being on one accord, right? Those are like deal breakers for them. Now, again, I want to give just some background. Young Miami's in her 20s. Mary and Taraji are in their, mid 40s,
They in their
right?
50s, girl.
Mid to
They
late.
might be 50.
They in
They
their
might
50s.
be okay.
They
Okay,
are.
let's just
They,
say late 40s to 50s because I don't know for sure.
Mhm.
And so, what do you guys think about that? I'm gonna, you know what, Joy, I'm gonna kick it to you first. What do you think about their deal breakers?
Um, I definitely can agree with the lying. Um, I think everybody lies to a certain degree, but it's the excessive lying that's a little um narcissistic that can be concerning. Um, like what you lie about little stuff, you know what I mean? Like this
Right.
unnecessary. That's very frustrating for me. So I can definitely understand that. What did Miami say? She said that she wanted things to be on one accord. I didn't really
Yeah,
quite.
she said that, she doesn't like, men who don't necessarily have it together. It's like it's kind of like jumbled, you know what I mean? It's just too much going on, I guess.
They too busy. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have put that on my list. I guess I wouldn't necessarily think about it up front. It might be frustrating during the process, but I think those are very good. Do you want me to get mine or y'all wanna?
Well, I'll tell you what, we won't give ours just
Okay,
yet. We just give your opinion on what
yeah,
what they say. Yeah.
yeah, that's all. I mean, I could definitely see the lion for sure. For sure. And my grandmother used to always say, if somebody a lie, they'll steal, and if they steal, they'll kill. So that's my grandma always said that, and I find it to be true in life. I really
Ezel said he don't kill, he still. If
He's
you don't know
still.
who Ezel is, you just we probably not in the same age bracket. But what do you think? And Alan, what do you think about what the lady said on the clip there?
Well, as far as the lie and steal, what I grew up on was lie, steal, cheat. Not
Ooh,
necessarily the kill part. The kill is a little like, oh, kind of
I
stuck me a
like
little
it
bit.
though.
Yeah, but it kind of feels like that though when it's happening. So I can agree with that. I like it. I think that one accord it's just as important to me because we got to be heading in the same direction. Y'all know I'm all about driving in the right lane, my lane. and me and you have to be heading the same direction. So I'm with it. I agree with both of them with the lying and the being on one accord. So I like it. That's top of the list for me as well.
I feel like these ladies, especially Mary and Taraji, they're speaking from a place of experience, right? Like you said, they were like late 40s, early 50s. And of course, they've had their share of relationships. And even though, Mary was married and divorced, and Taraji, who has yet to be married, but she wasn't, she does point out that she was engaged at some point, a couple of times in her life. But just dealing in intense long-term relationships, I can take what they kind of say as like, I don't want to say advice, but it's definitely something to like keep in the back of your mind, right? And I think the biggest one for me, yes, lying. I mean, those to me when I was 10 years old, thinking I was having a boyfriend, lying, cheating, stealing was one of those like deal breakers for me. And it still is. So let me not say that. But what I'm saying is, I think Mary, piggybacking off of Carisha saying like being on one accord was something I didn't necessarily think about until I got to be an adult, right? And an adult with, with some experience under her belt. These guys come up here and they always say, get on a program, get on a program. That's that's something they love to say, is to get on their program. And Mary kind of said, yes, you got to be on one accord. Now, whose program? She said she didn't specify. But I think it's important that your partner, whomever you're in a relationship with, should definitely be on the same accord, headed in the same direction, not necessarily, in the exact direction, but if you guys want something better for your family, you gotta, sometimes I think about like, okay, yeah, it is a program that you both have to sign on to, that you both have to, buy into. Um, and that's important on being on one accord. Cause I've seen it. I've seen when two people aren't on one accord. And when it happens the most, when I've seen it, like just amongst my friends, is when they got married like in their 20s and grow apart.
Interesting.
It's interesting. It's interesting. So that's just my kind of like take on that. It's like being on one accord. And when do you know when you're on, or when are you able to be on one accord with someone?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, let's go to the chat first because
Yeah,
I could talk all day about that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Okay, where are we? Let's see. Condemned ya. He has entered the building. He says, never settle, huh? Rubbing hands together like Birdman. You already know what time it
They
is.
ready. They
Blue
ready.
Rock 7 Clothing. They're new here. Welcome to the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast with Ty Joy and N. Allen. He says, what? Evening, ladies. I can't see. I don't know what that is. My sexy and strong says, she says, my older sister had me hooked. Mr. CKB says, what? Can you hear me? He says, lie. What? That's what I said. The way I heard it was lie, still cheat. But look, do we want to take a pause for a second? I would like to shout out, hey, hey, out here trucking.
Out here trucking.
Hit your girl up with a cash app. You get a virtual hug, and thank you so much for
Okay.
supporting this stream already. Thank you so much out here trucking. You've been, taking care of your girl. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's get back into the chat, guys. He says, the common sense expert says, okay, and Alan, you cutting up tonight, baby. We see you. I see y'all. It's Saturday, I get dressed up for y'all because guess what? I have nowhere to go.
Now, I ain't gonna lie though, that shirt fire. I
Thank
was looking at it, I
you.
was like,
Thank
dang, girl.
you.
You know she bad. You know she bad.
Yeah, I know. I feel like
Oh,
Look, I thought I was
baby.
coming on with a little sheer. You know what I'm saying? I tried to throw a little something over it, but
I be over here looking like,
no, my good sis
okay.
said, we outside.
What? We outside.
like,
Not too far outside. Just
You
we
know,
just look
just
to
just
see.
a little
We
like
just look to see what the weather's like outside. You
a little
understand?
peek outside.
Okay.
Just in
But my,
case.
my good sis is doing it today. That top is fire.
it
Thank
is.
you. Thank
Y'all
you.
put a fire. Y'all put a fire emoji in the chat for
Put a fire
Yeah,
emoji.
Inhaler.
Let me
yeah,
let
that's
me
a
pull this down. I would do
emoji.
a my unsolicited cam, but. We're gonna leave it to common sense expert. He
You
gave
leave
us
that to come.
body.
Don't do that, not today, because you are.
Oh, oh, okay. Y'all right, y'all right. But you know, that's enough. This enough for him. Mr. CKB, he said, sheesh. I don't know if he said that about the, me or what. But thank you anyway. I'll take that. He's comments his expert said, come on, ladies. MJB and Taraji are broken. And Young Miami is settling to be Buffy Fun Girl.
I don't think that's very polite to call people broken.
Girl, you know good and well they.
Call people broken because of their life experience. It's like it doesn't always go the way that you plan.
He probably
Um,
want to say they some old hoes because he from New Orleans. That's how they
What?
talk.
They somewhat how they talk.
Some old hoes. Them some old hoes. Them hoes is old, okay?
oh my
I
God.
already
Young
know.
Miami already. She ain't even hit
No,
30.
he talking about
Oh,
Taraji and
she knows
MJB.
Taraji. He trying to cash them out, girl. You know
It,
he.
what? Soon, if they ever gave him an opportunity. Now, are you
Yeah.
high value? Are you a high value trap star? Or are you just out here trapping? Hmm.
Ooh.
Well, I want to also shout out here trucking for a $50 cash app. Thank you so much for the support, y'all. He came through my live stream that I did on my channel on Tuesday. Y'all, and
Oh.
I'll tell y'all the story real quick. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna remember out here trucking when I am 96 years old. I was, I ain't even joking. So
What did he do?
ago, 2 weeks ago, I was on my live stream on my channel, right? And so
Hmm.
I had never got a cash app, and I looked, I was like, oh my god, it's $50. Like I couldn't believe it. I was super excited about it. Like that was the very first um cash app. I've never made any money on my channel, on the Mortgage Boss channel. And so like when he gave me like it was a big deal. It was big deal for me. Like I ain't never gonna forget it. That's why I was like, I remember him when I'm 96 years old. I mean,
Okay.
I never made no money on YouTube. That was my very first money that I made on YouTube was because of out here trucking. So shout out to you. I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and and give Out Here Trucking a special shout out. Thank you so much for sending that $50 cash app. Thank you so much, Out Here Trucking. He it looks like he blessed us all, ladies.
Yes, I love that. Let me find
Thank
out his.
you.
Yes, just share a
Thank
little
you.
love for them, and I appreciate that because we just up here. We're really just giving our opinions. No one's. We're not relationship experts.
Yeah.
All we have.
Uh oh. All right, but no, to her point, like I literally like all we're doing is just having girl talk and we're just sharing it with people. And it can be difficult sharing your opinions about, your life and experiences that you've been through. Cause I'm relatively transparent, but
Yeah.
sometimes when you share those thoughts and those opinions, people want to talk down on you and call you names and say all type of inappropriate things, almost like I guess try to discourage you or to take you down to make it like, oh, you don't think the way that I want you to think, so you stupid or whatever it is, or oh, you 30 years, you can't have no 30-year-old man, your womb ain't gonna get nobody, but like saying like radically inappropriate things sometimes. So it's just we want to share our thoughts and our opinions. It's not to sway you one way or another, but sometimes we do talk about things that are a little bit more serious. In our message, when we're delivering our opinions, we want to be really clear. Our message is for women, younger women, because we in our 40. Well, y'all ain't. They almost are, but I just turned 40, and I made a lot of mistakes, and missteps, and it's time and things I just can't get back. And so, some of the deal breakers that I might share with you today, I might not have had when I was 20. And if I did have those when I was 20, I might be in a totally different place now. And so we just, like I said, it's just conversation. It's just girl talk. Because women sit around and talk about this stuff. We cackle on the phone all the time, don't
Yes.
we?
Yes, we do. And definitely, these deal breakers, they do change as you get older. Because I know when I was younger, it was certain things that I just was not tolerate. When I was younger, it was like, okay, well, he has to be this, he has to be that. And really, I pat myself on the back. I have had a good picker. I've made some good choices. I've been, dealing with some decent men in my life. I have been fortunate. But what I thought about what I thought I wanted at 20, of course it changed, from 30 and almost 40 now at this point. But yes, looks like we got our girl back in here. We got our girl back in here.
Girl, love don't live here
Yes.
anymore. It's, I don't know what's going on. I am struggle streaming.
Yes,
Okay.
Condemned is out here speaking to the thing Mithra. He's speaking to him. Celeste, let's go back to my girl Celeste. She says what? Hit the like button, guys. Even though we struggle streaming for real tonight,
I
hit the like button. Give
apologize.
us give us the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. This is the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast with the three of us, guys, and we want y'all to get active in that chat. Now, what are we talking about, guys? Never settling, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Ooh.
And deal breakers. Guys, let us know some of your deal breakers in the chat. If you think, what did they
They gonna
say?
say something stupid. Men's deal breakers are a lot weaker than women's deal breakers. Or do you think it's the other way around?
They probably think that we are, some of our things we say are very specific and unnecessary and shouldn't be deal breakers. And I might
Right.
have to agree with them. I might
Yeah.
have to, because I know when I was, like I said, when I was in my 20s, like, I'm like, his parents need to be together. He needs to be an older brother of a brother. Like I was
Oh,
that
you
like
were going.
so
Oh, that's
specific because I was
specific.
like, I'm not dealing with them, but I did, and of course they all turned out to be good guys because you have to, deal with the person as they are. But I was really serious about like if their parents are not together, their mama need to have a boyfriend or her own new husband or somebody like it needs to be somebody there because no son husbands, none of them.
That's interesting. I was going to ask you that. I'm like,
Yeah.
is it the fact that you want the mom to be engaged with her own mate,
Yes, I do.
or
Yes,
the
I do.
dad to be? It's the mother
I would
figure.
like a man to be there in his life, but mostly a man to be there in her life.
Right, right,
You
right.
know,
So
and that I thought
You
that was
sounding more like
positive.
Deion Sanders right now.
I want her to have I want
that's
her to
how
have a
you
man. She
that's
should
how you
have.
recruit them quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Two-parent
He said
household.
a two-parent household.
He right.
He said, but
Dion
then when I
know.
want some dogs, they can be a single-parent household. You know them dogs. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
just saying. I'm just saying.
You know what though? I feel you on that, sis. I
Yeah.
you know what? Listen, I know the last episode we had. The men wasn't feeling me too much, and that's fine. It's fine. It's the give and take around here. But I'm feeling you on that. Dating a man and his parents. You know, or his mom actually having someone, a companion, right?
Yes.
Husband, boyfriend, partner. I know y'all hate that
Whatever. They
word
need
boyfriend.
somebody.
Someone other than, the son, because it's a thing. It
It
can,
is.
I'll say this, it can be a thing. Now I know a lot of single moms out here, um, a lot, but I know a lot of single moms out here with sons who, provide the sons the space to be the man for themselves, not, and so I don't even want to do that, but it is a thing. It's a thing. It depends
Absolutely.
on where you're at. It just
Oh,
depends where
stop.
you're
Yes.
at.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Ladies, check the cash apps.
Yeah.
Check right now. We got to stop. We got to stop. We got to stop.
Oh,
We got to
yes.
stop.
Yes.
Pause. We get
Yes.
back to that in a minute. We get back to that in a minute. Hold on. Wait. Now, thing, this is how you introduce yourself to somebody, okay? Thing, y'all. We 28 minutes in. Thing, $200.
Yes.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Now that's
Yes.
gosh.
He is the sponsor of the stream.
Oh,
Let
I
me
wasn't
go.
He is the sponsor of the
ready. I
stream.
wasn't ready.
We want to
Thank
thank you
you
so
so
much.
much. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to. I had to stop that.
Oh my goodness.
So
Oh
we
my
want to
God.
go ahead and give a special shout out to
Thank you.
Mr.
Yes.
Thane
Thank you.
Mithra.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
he has he's phenomenal is what I want to say, because I was fortunate enough to do a collaboration with another content creator last
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and he we did a collaboration, something totally separate outside of this space, just talking about business, money, you guys know. And I had to leave early, but he came on, him as well as a couple of other people came on that stream. TLA was on that stream. The Intentional Millionaire was on that stream, and we did that with AV to the seventh power. And Thane came on, and he just hearing him speak and
Yes.
articulate just his views on just the economy, on money, on just the way the world works from an international perspective was amazing to me. I always like to hear men speak about just things outside of what we, here in the United States, and not all of us, but, what we kind of conceive as, the dollar bill, the U.S., just our position. You guys know our military, just our position just in the world, and then seeing that from an international perspective. And he gave so much good insight that even though I had to leave, when he came up and spoke, the stream continued on, and it was so good just to listen to that. And so I really, really want to give a shout out to Mr. Thane Minthra for really, he supports a lot of people,
Yeah.
you guys. And I say a lot, but it's a select few. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's not everybody, but it's a lot. If you listen to this man, if you ever get a chance to listen to this man and how he speaks, and just try to get some insight on his intellect, you'll be amazed. And so I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Thane Minthra, for sending the $200
Thank
cash
you.
app. We appreciate you.
Yes, look,
And
let me have a turn. Look,
go ahead, go ahead,
let's
go
not
ahead,
move on
go
before I
ahead.
get a turn. Look, let me go ahead and give him his flowers as well. We all, I'm familiar with him from the Lead Attorneys Chat and his channel and this space, so you are a big supporter of all of us, and just want to say a huge thank you tonight for, joining our chat. This is your first time on the stream, and you're already supporting us so much. And we just want to say a big thank you. And, just from all three of us and everyone else in the space, you give us good knowledge and you support us, not only, with the knowledge, but with the wallet as well. So thank you so much. I'm joking, but you probably, you know me. So we want y'all to go ahead and do it one time for us. Put Thane Mither in the chat for us, y'all.
Yeah,
Look,
that
you know,
was
we got
super
Yes.
kind. Thank you,
we
thank you,
got our
thank
little new platform, whatever, and it comes with like some, you know,
Yes, let's go ahead and put if y'all hear
you
us. Oh, give us a little, yeah, give us some sounds, Ty.
yes. I
Square
tried to
Biz
do
is
a
the
little,
DJ. We want to
you
say
know.
thank you in the chat. Y'all put Thane Midra in the chat. He is here.
Definitely, definitely. And I will
thank
I will actually add him as a sponsor of the stream tonight.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank
you.
you. We
Well,
had to go ahead and you have to
I
stop
guess
the
I'm gonna tell
show.
this story when I'm 96 too. Okay, I got it.
Yes, yes.
Joy,
Thank you
you
so
scared me.
much.
I was like, uh-oh, what happened? What's
Listen,
going
I mean,
on?
no, look now. I know that's how the lead attorney like. This is new to me. Okay, this ain't the life that I have. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, thank y'all. And thank everyone else
Thank
supporting
you.
us tonight too in the chat, guys. Thank y'all so much. That is all right. And okay, so we forgot completely what we're talking about. But
I know. He
It
threw it.
was worth the interruption.
yes, thank you. Thank you. We are
Yes,
on
indeed.
the
Okay,
what? The
so we
deal
were
breakers.
talking about deal
Yes.
breakers, yes. And
Yes.
here's my question, ladies. What do y'all think about? I mean, okay, so there's deal breakers, and our deal breakers, kind of like change over time. But what do you think about um, if our deal breakers change over time? Is that a settling or not? Because the ladies, Mary, Taraji, and Carisha, they talked about settling, and I have that video queued up. If you guys want to take a look at that real quick, and then we can kind of like get in on that. Y'all good with that?
Let's check it out.
Okay, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Child, this
Yes. And everybody here is wait, what is this? Wait, let's go back up. Condemn you says eh, what is that thing says condemn your listening fam. The comments says expert. He says, ladies, we value all of your opinions. We need to be clear on the difference between mistakes and bad decisions.
Mistakes and
We
bad
gonna
decisions.
are we dropping the link tonight, guys?
Oh,
I
we
don't
gonna
know.
drop it because they
Okay.
want to talk tonight. They want to talk, and so we want to talk to him because that's a
Yes.
good. I want to know. I want to know what his opinion is on mistakes and bad decisions. But in the meantime, in between time, let's get into this video.
I think that when we in love, we settle a lot. Thinking that I was in love, it was a lot of stuff that I did just because I thought it was love.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Absolutely.
stuff, it taught me like don't tolerate certain stuff, don't settle for nothing, stand on whatever you believe in. Like don't try to put a man feelings before yours.
Yeah.
Like be strong, speak your mind, be a woman, like know what you bring to the table and always like have a voice. I think that when we
All right, ladies. All right, Miss Carisha said something there. It might have been a little bit of. It might have been a little bit of. So Carisha was talking about never settling, and specifically women settling. And my question to you before we got to the actual video is what is settling, right? When you move through life as an adult from, let's just say, from the age of 18 to where we are today, um, our the things that we want change. Does that mean we settle? What you think? I'm gonna start with you and Alan. What do you think?
I don't think it's settling. I think things do change. I mean, because once you get older, you're finished with college, you in your career, or you've been married and divorced. You know, the things that you need or you want are different. From when you were 20. Of course, when you're 20, you want somebody that's perfect. Perfect, like physically, financially, even though it's unrealistic to expect a 20-year-old man, young man, to
Right.
have money or whatever you expect from him. But you're not thinking about that when you're 20. But when you're 40 or almost 40, you've already been through your 30s or in their cases, 50s. It's like, what you really just want a companion at that point. To me, I would want somebody that's just decent, and that I'm attracted to. I still like a little attraction. Maybe they're still immature, but attracted to me. But yeah, I don't think it's settling though. I just think that the wants change because the needs are pretty much taken care of at that point. I think. Yeah, what do y'all think about that?
Joy. What you got, girl?
I think the word is subjective. And depending upon the context of what are you talking about when you say that, right? So as I was thinking about my answer, I thought about, well, who have I looked at or admired or scenarios I've been in where I'm like, they didn't quite get what they wanted. Is it considered settling? And I think about Joe Biden. Um, Joe
Mm,
Biden has served the United States in some capacity since I think he was 29 years old. And he worked his way up, and I mean, he was a senator and all of the things. And he ran for president a couple of times, didn't win, made the vice presidency, and was like, you know what? I'm okay. It was a good run. And he ended up coming back to become the president. But I wouldn't consider that settling had he said, you know what? I had a great career. Like, I don't need to try again. I wouldn't consider something like that settling. Like, he did the very best that he could. You know what I mean? And so if you're doing the best that you absolutely can and you get farther than you would have imagined, I wouldn't consider that settling at all. What do they say? Shoot for the moon and you land on the stars. You land
right.
on the stars, does that make you a failure? No, I don't think so. And I think sometimes as women, oh honey, our moon, Jesus Christ. Like our moon is ridiculous. And so, you know, when we get into a certain level of life experience and we had some run-ins and hit our head a few times and ran into some walls, we probably like, okay, let me adjust my expectations, even not just for that person, but maybe for humanity. Because people let you down every time. But when you 10, 12, 15 years old, you don't know that. So I wouldn't consider certain things settling. I think it's adjusting your expectations just based upon the context of what's happening in life.
You know, I that last part you said there, Joy. adjusting your expectations based on the context of life. I think that is so significant because here's the thing, right? When we're 18 years old, we just hit the yard. If you if you went to college, you know what the yard is. You went to HBCU, you definitely know, what the yard is. And we came, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, expecting, so much, right? I know all of us ladies, we entered into college in the early 2000s, right? Coming out of 90 in the early 2000s, and it was like the world was kind of like on a platter to us. Like,
Yes.
you can be whomever you want, and then you start going through your freshman and your sophomore and your junior and your senior year, and you start to put things more into perspective. You know who you are. And I'm just saying, from the time that I entered, as a college freshman, and I'm like, oh, I like the guy with the cornrows and the baggy jeans and the white tee with the fitted, he's from New
That was
York.
you?
He got to be from Brooklyn,
That was you?
with the maybe. I might be speaking from some type of experience, versus, as I start to get a little bit older, get a little bit more mature. And now I'm like, no, being around especially at the HBCU, being around other black intellects, people who are actually about, what they say they're about. And you're like, maybe, the baggy jeans and the white tee and the fitted and everything may not necessarily be, what I necessarily want. And I just think as we grow, our interests grow, our just the things that we like grow, and then that can change how we look at, our love interests as well. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we don't get a lot of grace with that, right? We don't get a lot of grace with that. It's like, oh, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot and you all on me type deal. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like, no, like I would think sometimes it's just like, no, like I'm not 14, I'm not 15, like I'm a grown woman. You know what I mean? And it's not that, as a grown woman, I'm looking back as a teenager in high school, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I get with this guy? It was more like, he's matured, I matured, we're in different aspects of our life, right? I want different things as a woman. He definitely probably wants different things as a man, and they might be congruent, and we might go together if you look at me differently.
Uh-oh.
TLA did my stare last night.
He did.
He did. You saw it. He did my stare last night on the stream. I don't want to put the copyright on it, but I just wanted to acknowledge when he did his stare. I was like, now where he get that from? No, I'm playing, but I think it's giving people the grace to grow and mature, especially in the environments that we're in. And I don't think it's settling. I think it's just evolving. I think that was something that was pointed out earlier. I think, in Alan, you said something before about just evolving as people. When I was 8 years old, it was the boy that could kick the ball, the furthest,
What? Home
right?
runs.
Right.
I still like them kind.
Right. Maybe we
Whoever
all,
the strongest, biggest.
but it was it
Anyway,
was that, you know what I mean. And now it's a little bit different, and I'm proud of myself for that, right? Because I would hate to be into the same type of person that I was into when I was a teenager. Like, I just wouldn't be able to function.
And the other
so
thing about settling is I think that you're talking about things in the same time period.
Hmm.
Like if I go to the grocery store and I want some peanut butter and I want some Jif and they out, I might settle for some Peter Pan. Like I gotta get like, oh,
Hold
it
up
ain't
now.
exactly what I want, but it'll do. It'll do. It'll get me through what
Hmm.
I need for right now. Right. And I think that helps with the context on it too. Like if you're in your 20s and your list is a mile long, and as you go through life, you kind of strike some things off, like that's not really that important, whatever. And then you kind of get down to your top five or whatever it is, and then you're 40 and you still don't find it. And then, you sort of, and then you finally kind of sort of get there. It's like, well, I didn't really settle. I just, along the way, things changed. But if it was, like I said, in the same time period, person versus person, he's like, I guess, I suppose. You're not quite happy when you settle. You know what I mean? I don't think when you settle, you're like, yeah, I settled. Like, it's like, I suppose.
So do you settle, or do you just like, I'm the kind of person that if I can't get what I want, I'll wait and I'll go without. Like on certain things, yet like whatever it is. If it's something I'm trying to buy, or if
Yeah.
whatever it is, I
Mm-hmm.
will. So I guess I'm not really a settler like per se. Like, but I'm
You
gonna get what I want. Like,
you
or
gonna
I'm
wait
not
till
gonna
it go
work.
on sale?
Or I'm
Yeah,
not
right.
gonna. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and like wait till I save up enough money. I'm gonna get it
Okay,
because
okay.
I
But
get it.
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
It just popped in my head. There's is there a difference? You waiting for something to go on sale versus waiting for you to have enough money to get it, right? There's a difference in that, and especially when we talk about these relationship spaces, right? Because when we talk about settling, a lot of times in these spaces, they're saying like, "Oh, you wanted the big money grip back in the day, but now big money grip didn't do you how you wanted, and so now you're going to come over here to the good guy or the good girl and try to make something work." That's what that's what this space is calling, settling versus someone like me. I'm saying it's more like evolution. Or so it's like, all right, let me go on over here and get something on sale. Or is it, you know what, let me get myself together, better myself, you know what I mean, get a little bit more in my pocket to get the person that I want, right? So I can, bring something to the table, you know what I mean, other than trying to be the table. Bring something to the table. So that's the thing. So is that settling when I'm like I'm trying to level up, or is it settling when I'm trying to like just get it down the line?
I don't. I would. I'm not
Woo.
gonna. I'm just not gonna. Just not
You
doing
ain't gonna type
that.
that. Okay.
I'm just
What you
not.
think, Joy? What you think? What you think?
I
For
just think
sale, or get your stack up, get your bread up.
I guess it depends. It depends. It's not a I don't have a hard answer to that. That's kind of a
Hmm.
little bit complex. I have to think a little bit more on that before I
No,
I want to say
because
this. I was having a conversation with someone we all know in common, the lead attorney, and he said, "Well, I said, well, we were talking about financials, like how much men make, or why certain women aren't choosing certain men, right? So it's like I said, all the men that I meet make money. They all have value. That's all I
hmm
see. He said, yeah, and I was like, so like, what is it? He's like, because you don't see the other ones. I was like, I don't see them. He was like, you don't like. They're invisible to you guys. And I was like, wait, what? So they're there. I just don't see them. Like, what do y'all? Is there some truth in that? Like, do we not see these guys or what? Like,
so what are you saying? Like we have like high value blinders on, and we don't
pretty
see
much, because
who.
I know me and you. I don't enjoy it too. Well, me and you for sure, Ty. We have said things like everybody we know, all the men that we come in contact with are all on a
They
certain
are.
level.
They
And
are.
he says that they're there. We just don't see them. We don't. They're literally invisible to us. What do you think about that?
I don't know what's invisible to me. I don't know what's not there. I will say that. Let me. And here's the thing. Like when do I see the, I guess, so, quote unquote, invisible men. I do, but I see them in a different light. I see them at a place where, and it's all depending on where they are. It's more of a respect. Like a lot of these men, who these invisible men are not necessarily. I don't want to say like they're not. I don't want to call them invisible, right? Like because they're visible to someone, and we talked about this before about just like being like in your lane. Like not everyone's in everyone's lane. And not to say that my lane is this high value man type lane. I know my lane, right? I know exactly what my lane is. I
Yeah.
stay in my lane. I'm not for everybody, and everybody is not for me. And so anybody outside my lane will be invisible to me. And it doesn't necessarily have to like depend on how much money they make. There's a lot of high value men who are outside of my lane who I'm I'm invisible too, and they are invisible to me. So, I guess I see that, but you're attracted to what you're attracted to,
Right.
right? And I'm not gonna settle for let me not say I'm not going to settle for something outside of my lane. Something outside of my lane is going to give me something different, and it may be something that I like. I'm just not there yet. You know what I mean? So, so you know what I mean. Like, I know my lane. I try to keep my eyes on the prize, and I don't try to step out of my lane. And my lane can be, a lot. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to say like, yeah. I'll leave it at that.
And shout out to the lead attorney. He has entered the building. He's already coming in with the mess. He says, "Tell these ladies about the law of the claw." He's talking to the Thane Midra.
The same.
What's that mean? What's
The
that
law
mean?
of the claw.
Yeah,
He was talking about that one other time on the lead attorney's
Hmm.
channel. You know,
but what does
these
it mean?
people, these highly powerful people. He would have to come up and explain it a little bit better than I can. I'm still in the learning phase. My sexy and strong. She shout out, lead is into the building. He is here, guys. Thanks, says the lead attorney. Nope, they ain't ready. We are not ready for the law of the claw. We're still learning.
I just want to know what it is, if y'all don't mind, just
Give me, I can't break it down.
just give me a brief
I
synopsis.
mean,
Just no
maybe,
version.
if they might come up and maybe not tonight, but if he does, we let him come up and we talk about the law of the claw, or we talk about backstage. How about that?
Yeah, that'll be good. My sexy and strong. She says, as you grow, your taste grows. Well, at least it should. Right.
Mhm.
So it's like
Taste
get
and
mature.
feel.
Yeah. It's like you can't be like, oh, he gotta be, but he gotta be. Some of those things are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And what we'll talk about that too. We can get into the non-negotiables. And we're gonna drop the link too, right? Y'all see we're gonna drop
Yeah,
the link
yeah, yeah,
tonight.
definitely.
Yes, the lead attorney shot him out. He said, the lead attorney, he is here. Welcome to the podcast, Mama Bear Moments. She's one of our regulars. She says, thank you. Stopping by to show these lovely ladies some support. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and whatever else they say, what notification, ding, ding, ding,
Hit
all
the
three
hit
of
the
those things.
bell, hit the
All of
like,
those.
hit the like, hit the
And let's get
subscribe.
to 100% engagement. I love y'all getting active in this chat. The lead attorney, he brought the party with him. Our Normans, right?
That's
Our
right.
Norman,
Yeah, you
right.
got it right. You got it right. You got it right.
Good evening, ladies. We missed you the past couple of streams. He says, settling and involving are two different things. They are. People
Mhm.
have high standards, but lower them because they are hard to find. That's settling. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And he said it's subjective. I mean, no, I'm sorry, I read the wrong one. Mama Bear said that.
Yes.
It's subjective.
The lead attorney he says, okay, Joy is explaining settling. The same woman who a man has to buy a house for today.
That said, it should go to McDonald's,
That's right.
He
but we ain't gonna
said,
talk about it.
She know her lane though. That's the thing.
Go to
you
the
gotta know
store.
your lane. Yes,
I'm going to
that's
the
the.
store.
She's eating in the sewer, but she will be going to a new house after she finishes her dinner. Okay, she will be going to a new house. The competence expert he says, ladies, we all settle when it comes to relationships. You will never get 100% of what you want in relationships.
I think you listen, I agree with that. I think it's a combination of things. You evolve as a person, you mature or whatever. Maybe you don't mature, but you evolve as a person. And then it's yes, everyone is not gonna give you 100%. Um, at least not all of the time, right? You're not gonna get 100% of everything that you want. But what's most important? We talked about deal breakers. We talked about, you know, like, no, that's not gonna happen. Lying, cheating, steal, and kill. You know what I mean?
Still and kill.
If
Can we
that's all
say?
you got, though, I don't
I'm
know.
just,
I just think people. I think women should just not have to settle. You know what I mean? I think they should evolve. That's my thing. That that
that way
that's
you still get what you want. You can change your what you.
exactly. And I'm more of the, I said you're gonna get on sale or are you gonna step up. I'm more of the step up
Yeah.
type, right? I'm more of the save your money up, get yourself together, get yourself right for the things that you want because that changes you. It makes you evolve, and it puts you in another lane if you weren't in it prior to. I'm more of that. But I do like to get a good bag on sale, so I'll say that.
But even the
Thanks.
whole idea of settling that suggests that you're unhappy in some capacity. If you got what if you happy in the situation that you're in and it's not the end of the journey that you initially planned, that doesn't make you, be settling. That doesn't make you unhappy at all. You just end up at a different destination.
True.
See, start driving. Yeah, yeah. That okay. Thanks says men marry women daily. So-called lower standards.
Women
Women
court.
What is
call this settling.
what married women daily of so-called lower
Women
status?
who are lower, but men be doing whatever though.
Okay.
Because
I
it's
don't.
like, yeah, he said like men marry women that's lower than them all the time, which they kind of do. Because we like how he end up with her.
But you think that you do you view that as settling? Like he settled for
He
her?
said women call that settling.
I don't
I
know if
guess
I ever.
most women, other women, evidently not you, Ty, you wouldn't call that settling. If you just marry somebody that's quote unquote
No,
lower
I'm
standard.
saying. So I agree that the half that I agree on is that men. I don't want to say they date down or anything like that, but men are very open to a type of woman. I think from the beginning of time, right? They always say they don't care about your how much money you make, the degrees you have, and your social status. As long as you provide them what they want. So I agree upon that. I just don't know if I've ever saw that. I don't know if I've ever said, "Oh, he settled for her." Like he settled for her, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen a man with a woman that's not as attractive as him? Would you
I have
think that
I
was
have.
settling?
So I have.
Yeah.
I have. But I don't know if it was like so let's just say this. So I'm going to say this. I have seen a man with a woman that's not as attractive of a woman who I felt like was on
He
his
could
level.
get.
But I
Okay.
never said it was him settling. It was like what's he doing? Like it was never like,
It
oh,
was still a freedom of choice for him. So again, that's back
right.
to being
I
subjective.
didn't
So
say he
when
was
it's the
settling.
male lens, it's a freedom of choice. When it happens to a woman, it's like, oh, poor little thing, poor
Yeah,
little
I never looked at it as him settling. It was just like that's what he got. Like it's almost like what else she got? Like, you know what I mean? Like what
Yeah.
is it? If it ain't
Yeah.
the looks,
Uh-huh.
then what is it? Because in my mind, it's like, and this is like being real, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, if it ain't the looks, then what is it, right? And they're gonna tell you. I already know what they're gonna say in the chat. It's
What,
gonna
her
be
personality? Oh, so
it's gonna
femininity.
be fit, fun, feminine, friendly, and whatever other F's
You know, I
you want.
feisty fuck around
That
find
is
out.
what it is
Yeah.
about this woman, okay? But I've never looked at it as him. Oh, he settled for her. I have said though when I've seen quote unquote high value women with men who don't necessarily, who in my mind don't necessarily measure up to who they are. I have said like, well, she settled for that because baby girl can get whatever, but she shows him. So I've never seen. That's what I'm saying. I guess it's more of a frame of mind. So I understand when he's saying that first part. Men are open as long as you have all the F's in the world. It's some F's that these, some F's that men will not
But
agree
I
with.
think it's easier to impress women that's lower than you too, because they looking for a come up.
Oh yeah.
I don't think men are the same way necessarily. They can be, but when I think about those type of dynamics, because I'm a woman, I automatically know because women are so interested in stability and money is stability in most cases.
Hmm.
They like, oh, absolutely, yeah. But for a man, it's like, oh, okay, I just gotta buy her a pair of shoes and take her out,
Woo.
couples, and then it's like, okay, gotta. It ain't that hard. You know what I'm
But
saying?
they say they having a hard time getting women though. These men not getting women.
They're at the local mall.
Who not
Like,
getting women?
okay, let's
The
let's
men
call
are
it,
not.
let's call it what it is. When we all saw what was going on with Puff Daddy and Carisha, we were
Mhm.
all like, "The hell going on?"
Yeah.
Right.
Why? Um, And I mean, by all accounts, I mean they're both rich. I mean, he's rich, rich, but it's like nobody took it seriously. It's like, okay, that wasn't difficult for him to be like, okay. Meanwhile, she does happy as a fruitcake.
But it was like a come up for her though. For her to be able to,
No, it was.
it was. You don't think it was a come up for her to get with Diddy?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for her, yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
not for him, but yeah, for her, for sure,
She had
absolutely.
a secret in her bag though. She told us
And it
that.
wasn't. That's my point. It wasn't
she did.
a challenge for him. Like, how hard is?
Now that
Okay,
was
you want
easy
a
for
car?
him.
All right, here's a car. Like, it's not hard at
I
all.
don't
And
think.
I don't think they're not on the same level. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but
Okay, so here's the question: Who do you think would be a challenge for Diddy? Who do you think is a woman? Listen, God rest her soul, Kim Porter. But who would you think is a woman that would be a challenge for Diddy? That he
uh,
ain't just gonna be throwing out cars, money, clothes to get. Like he has to
a
actually
woman of
show
his
up.
equal,
Hmm.
And what is
a woman
that?
of his equal would
Okay.
be a challenge for him.
Anyone?
His
Anyone?
equal, that would mean another mogul. I think that would be challenging for him. Someone that's not going to be impressed with. Hell, he bought me a Bentley. Like, I don't want your
Oh, like a
Bentley. Like,
Rihanna, Beyonce. I know these women are had their own
yeah,
relationships.
yeah, like I just that I think there would be a challenge for someone on the same level.
But do they
And I
even
mean, huh?
do they want challenges though? Do the men want challenges or they just want
I don't think so, which is why it's such a flex to say, oh, men go down and grade all women all the time. Y'all just too picky. Like, okay, if you, I suppose, like, I think that's a little bit, that's lazy. It's lazy. I don't know what else to say. Like, if you don't, it's like, if you can't play in varsity and you choose to play in JV, I mean, I guess you won. Okay, I
Hey
guess.
Nolly, you gotta
It
ask the
wasn't
chat.
hard.
You gotta ask the men in the chat. And the
What y'all?
women.
What's the challenge? Do y'all want a
Do
challenge?
they want to?
Men in the chat.
They
Put a
say
one
they
in the
want a
chat.
challenge.
Put a one in the chat if you want a challenge. You want a little feisty. You want a little push. Just a little bit.
It's a little bit
She's
pushback.
still feminine, but she will give a little pushback. She say no sometimes. Put a
She
two in the
on your
chat.
level.
Yeah, put a two in the chat if you like. Nah, sit down somewhere. Let me go get my girl down here. She ain't got no job. She ain't finished school. She ain't talking back either. She got a nice little body, and that's it. That's all I need. Put a two in the chat if that's all you need, because I do wonder about that, because it's like it does seem like sometimes like, oh, this is easy. This is easy.
Yeah.
Is that the problem? Because we don't listen, and I can understand. Not one of these women that don't listen.
I think I've spoken about this
Yeah.
before. When we talk about that dynamic, this power dynamic, and these 40-year-old, 50-year-old men go get these 20-year-old girls, that's easy. That ain't hard. That's not a flex. Like, it might feel like that to you as the old man, but you messing with a child. Like, you go get the CEO at your company. Okay. Why are you fooling with the intern? Like, it's like it's simple. It's too easy, right? It's just I've never quite understood it, because what happens inevitably, and I have seen this in real time, where I had a friend in college and married some old man. I think he was like 40 something. They got married, elaborate wedding. She was so happy. She married him because he had some money. Money in quotes. I mean, I guess, you 20, anybody got money, you know what I mean? And so as they progressed through life, he was slowing down. She's speeding up. Well, he don't want to go on vacations with me no more. He don't want to. It was
The
easy
imbalance.
for her, and then as she got older, she became a little bit more challenging, because she was interested in other things. She was evolving, but getting these little young girls, it's too easy. It's simple. So I don't think that's a flex at all. And I don't think that's them holding up their standards either.
Mama Bear Mama says, I think there's nothing wrong with settling. Settling is subjective. The lead
It
attorney
is.
is saying, Joy, I don't know what you said at the time, Joy, but he's like, hey,
You said LOL.
thing says lead. Ain't the cardboard box what? Till the wheels fall off. type. She said what she said. We watching. Joy, they watching. You know, you always got to be super careful because they looking for your joy. They looking for. Thank Lee say call her out. Y'all gonna drop the link. We gonna drop the link. Call her out, thing. Condemn says, thing on point. We don't care about what the woman does for a living or her status in society, as long as she is a decent citizen and ain't on what OnlyFans type of mess. We care about the woman. We care about the man.
We
We
do.
some of y'all be dusty. That's they want us to go. I kind of been picking up on that. If you a quote unquote high value woman, they like look, give out like man making a certain salary, give them a chance. Be like, okay, I mean, whatever. They like, y'all don't even see these men. The high
I
value.
can't help but to see these men is what I'm saying. I don't know. Like I said, anybody outside of my lane, I'll say that. It is not based off of how much they well, it's a criteria, but it ain't based off of that. I know what my lane is, but I can't help but to see these men who people say are, high value but overlooked is what I'm saying. Right? I see
Mm-hmm.
them. I work with them. I see them every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you catch me on a good day, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I can't help but see them. When I say outside of my lane, it's just outside of what I know of the men that I know who are attracted to me, right? Because you got to know who's attracted to you. You got to know what you're giving off. You got to know what the signals you're putting out there. Like, so I think I have a good grasp of what I send out. And so of what I send out and those who, hook onto that, I have a good grasp of what that lane is, and it go. I mean, it go. It doesn't necessarily have to be about like the money. They're in the lane, but do you meet all the criteria of to get in the
So,
car?
so what is the criteria?
My like personally.
Yeah.
Oh, I know my lane. Listen, I know what my lane is. I've said it before. I've said it before, and I've talked about just like the men that I've been in relationships with prior. They have. I don't. You can call them alpha, beta, gamma, sigma, whatever you want to call them. Right? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me as a woman. I just like who I like. Most of them have very much so been in the military aspect or very closely affiliated with. I'm an army brat. I'm in the military. That's just the way of life for me. So there's that, right? So you can put them there. And they've always been like in leadership positions because, well, I'm in a leadership position. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like my peers. They've been my peers. They've been my peers really honestly since I was in college, right? I got a scholarship, ROTC. So they've been my peers this whole time. And so when I look across the board and in that aspect, these are the guys that have been attracted to me, and I've obliged very few, but very few, but some of them, that I felt like were that I
Let's
like.
go. Y'all want to go ahead and drop the link? See if they want to come up
Yeah,
and comment on this. Because I feel like they're trying to say, like, men out here making good choices and women out here still being picky and getting dogs and cats and, all that, the rest of the stuff. But the competence expert, he says, we getting women, just not the ones you can take home to meet your parents. Now, why
why
would
you
you do
want
that?
them?
Why would you do that?
Why you want that?
Oh, but is it because I said these men are getting women? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. The space said that these men are not getting women.
Well, here's a question: would you date a man that you couldn't necessarily bring home to your parents?
No,
Joy?
no,
I probably have.
I'll
Okay,
do
there's
that.
a there's
Yeah,
a
I'm not.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, so there's a difference. You have,
Yeah.
right? We've date like
I have not. I made good choices.
oh, I've had
Oh,
some. I
I
had
make
some,
horrible choices.
for your for your
Oh, terrible.
Really?
whew, girl. Okay. But from this from this point on, would you
Okay.
date someone that you couldn't necessarily be like,
No. Not for me.
Okay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this, right? You know what they doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me now. I haven't dated it, but I mean, I see the
And I'm talking
grills.
about, I'm definitely
Yeah,
talking about early 20s and.
you said cornrows earlier. I've been a low cut Caesar. I've been there. I've been
Oh, so
there.
you deep south though. That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Louisiana.
Oh yeah. This was him.
Joy, you
Yeah.
had some cornrows before? Not you personally. But have you dated someone with cornrows before?
I like the thugs. Well,
The truth
Back
comes
in the
out.
day.
The truth
like
comes
the
out.
smart thugs though.
The
Like,
smart thugs, right?
yeah,
Okay.
like you can
The
look like me
wanksters,
and
they
somebody.
wanksters.
Like, I need to feel like, oh,
Oh yeah, I like to be safe now.
like
The
I,
no, back in the day, I think that was a look though. Really like back, I would think back in the day was especially on campus, right? So like the
yeah.
guys, you know, it's like the guys still wanted to have like their street cred, but it was like, you be like,
at college.
now you got an A in that chemistry test. Don't even act like that.
What? We in calculus two together
and
already.
and the
Yes.
fact that you got an A on that chemistry test is like really like sending
Sexy.
me
Hmm.
versus with the cornrows
Yeah.
and your blue Yankee fitted. Like I'm so like
I
proud of
like
you
them
for
too.
having that A on that
Like
chemistry test.
men that are paradox though.
Yeah.
Yes,
I do. I do. I like that. I like men that are paradox. Like
it's like it's
you both
like
at the same
it's so
time.
stupid,
Like,
right? It's like I know you like your Tims, I know you like your J's, you got your baggy jeans, your Jabos,
You
and
be
your white
cursing and you
tees,
reckless with your mouth sometimes
and
too.
you kind of a little reckless. But you also got that A on that chemistry test because you pre med.
right.
I don't think they know that. That's a thing.
That
It's
is
so
a
And
thing.
the thing about that
That's a
is, I
thing.
think it's a talent. Like I like men that are social chameleons. You can exist
Hmm.
in multiple spaces
Hmm.
comfortably. You know what I mean? Like you still got your street cred, you got your hood card. Like there's a whole will love you. You know what I mean? But you could put on this tux and we can go to this mayor's ball too.
right.
Like, oh my
Now
God.
they
Listen,
would say that every all the women want those men.
but listen, TLA was giving hoodie last night.
He was.
He
He
was giving hoodie,
was.
and he's Mr. Debonair. You know what I mean,
Just because he had on a hoodie don't make him
Have you
baby?
ever
better.
Did you
heard him
see the
talk?
chat?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like can you fight?
TLA,
He
he's
I
he
want
sitting
probably
to
pretty.
know. Can you fight?
look, Joe, like, can you fight? He ain't
TLA,
gonna fight. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
TLA.
can you? I'm for it. Can you fight? I
He
like a
says
man.
he fights with his words in the courtroom.
Okay.
Boo! Boo!
I'm
See,
here
Joy
for
gonna
it
get you locked
though.
up.
I'm trying to see you can throw them things. Like,
Joy gonna get you locked up.
Yes.
Gonna
Just
get you
talk
locked
about
up.
it. Welcome, welcome, girl.
What's
She
up,
says, great
Jess?
thumbnail, ladies. All the high value men in the chat. They are. That's why we like, look, that's all we know. I only see y'all. That's all we see.
Yeah.
Man, I here talking about some invisible women. He don't even see them. You don't see them either. The common
Yeah.
sense expert says, after watching TLA, I not care about how much a woman makes. Don't listen to that. Common
You
sense
know
expert.
why? Because you know why? Listen, you
What we
already know.
been saying, and he act like he just came to that conclusion.
I
He's been
know
on
it's
that.
they call it high value trap stars, and I feel like common sense expert is giving a little. I mean, don't get
He
me
been
wrong.
giving that since we met him.
He is, but he is like the like. Listen, I'm not. I'm not
Epitome.
calling. I'm
He
not calling
is.
him a high value trap
He
star.
is.
But let me tell you something. He has the ingredients of one,
He
right?
does.
Did you see when he stood up for us?
I think I remember.
Baby, I had to turn the camera off because the man, you know, he got it. You know what I mean? He
They,
tall, brown
they
skin.
said it. They said they hold you down.
He tall, brown skin. He he be out here like with the he on a he a policeman.
Oh
We
no.
last time he came, he had the radio.
Kid boy.
is it
Yeah.
mom or Popo for real? Like you
We
5
don't,
0?
I think he no.
It's that time 12.
He might even
You
be the
12.
federales. I don't know. And
Mm.
anyway, what it was when the man stood up, I had to turn the camera off because I don't need to. Y'all already know I'm in a relationship. I can't.
He say,
I
"Tie
don't need
you
no
out the
problem.
market, so ain't no
That's what I'm
more
saying.
lying to
I,
you."
I don't want no problems. I don't want no problem with mine. You understand what I'm saying? But for you ladies out there, for the ladies out there in the chat, listen, you talking about the popo. He in shape. We saw it,
You
right?
tall.
He likes to laugh. He makes us laugh on here, right?
He's
Right.
laughable.
Okay. But then he said he was
You
going to
said,
he then
Adam.
he said he was going to cash us out. And
Careful.
that in itself is what I call a high value trap star.
You heard it here first. Well, you heard it when we said it the other night, but you heard it here now. Y'all be careful, high value women out there.
You
Be
be
careful.
careful of the. Now I'm not saying he's a trap star, but he ain't messing with no bro.
Yeah, we need to make a song
He
about
not
that.
messing with what you say. What
This
you
is the
how y'all call
thing.
him? How you call him
Mm,
in Louisiana? He ain't
With
messing
a
with no.
no broke hole, no old hole. He ain't no
There you
broke
go.
hole. Yeah, he ain't fooling with them. Thing says
Mm.
wealthy women complain a lot when it's time to pay child support to daddy. See Halle Berry or Kelly Clarkson? They paying their money. Shoot, paying to daddy. Mary J. Blige paying a man she ain't even got no children for. Ain't that sad?
Go married with your boots on.
That's so sad. And then he got the nerve to laugh after that. What is it? The link is in the chat, guys. The link is in the chat. What are the deal breakers? Like,
Well,
what do
here's the
y'all think?
question: what position would you rather be in? You know, a lot of men, you know, with the statistics out here and everything about women, more what is it? Women file for divorce more than men, right? And the whole alimony and the child support. My question would be, what what position would a man want to be in? Would he want to be able to, does he want to pay alimony and child support and all of that, or does he want to be able to say, "Look, Judge, she make just as much as me, if not more. I'm the one.
I need
It's
my
me
money.
that needs the alimony. I need the child support."
I want to
What's the
cash her
better
out.
position?
They don't
Let
think
us
about
know.
that. Think about it that far.
Dang.
Would you
Uh,
say, Joy?
They don't think about it that far
Oh
ahead.
nah, because she fit feminine and friendly and she's 23.
they're gonna cash them out. Lee. Thing say pull up and share some settling education. Lee,
I
give us
dropped
a
the
word
chat. I
tonight.
dropped the link, girl.
Yes, he's
Here you
calling
go
you
again.
out. Dang, you need to come on up here too. Go and give us a word. My sexy strong says my HBCU campus had plenty of smart hood dudes.
I didn't know
Where
our
you where
good.
you went? Where
I
you at?
know what HBCU went. Our good sis.
Where
Which
you
one you
at?
went to? Because we all went to HBCUs on this panel here.
You got that life.
Okay,
Yes.
and we,
That's why we and you know what, and that's another reason why we know them. We see them. That's all we seen so many of them. They were not far and few in between. They were like all around. All
they
around.
were.
Okay, hold on, wait. Okay, let's think about this. Let's walk through this. Is that why maybe we're considered to like not want to? Is do you think that we subconsciously look down on somebody that doesn't fit that criteria?
You know what, Joy? That's a good question because I know with I statistically speaking, I know the ratio of black women to black men on HBCU campuses. Almost every HBCU campus, black women outnumber black men. But I never lived that statistic if that means anything. Right? I've seen plenty of men with goals striving to be whatever they want it to be around me for at the very least 4 years of my life,
Yeah.
right? And so I can't. So it's hard for me. I guess I'm groomed to see successful black men, right?
Exactly, that's my point. So are we socially conditioned? Has college, has the campus setting of being amongst
Mm-hmm.
this for 4 to 5 years in intimate settings, living in a co-ed dorm,
Mm-hmm.
apartment complex, the guy across the dorm, I mean across the hall in your apartment might have been the one to like, you know what I mean, drive you to the grocery store or you know what I'm saying, be the one that
Yeah.
they kind of protected the girls across the like have we is it possible that
That's
we have been subconsciously socially groomed like okay this is what it is like you should be an engineer like why wouldn't you be like what you know what I mean like okay you don't you this is the life that I know. So why would I? Who are these other people? Like you know what I mean? Like it maybe what he's saying about us, these people being invisible to us, not our fault. It's a it's I blame the school system.
It
They're
could be,
invisible because of the schools.
then
I
I,
blame the schools.
you might have a point there. You might have a point there, Joy. Well,
Yeah.
it's something to consider because I went to undergrad at an HBCU and then I went to pharmacy school at Xavier, so another black school. So I don't
Mhm.
know if is that it. Like that's just been my environment. Like
Yeah.
well maybe that's it too though, because that's where we were at. We only deal in our circles in our environment. So if we get placed over here, I don't know what we would do in a different setting. But based on where we were at, there were more options.
I would
Oh,
say those black men, and so my sexy Sean said she went to Fisk.
okay.
Um, so shout out to Fisk.
Shout
Okay.
out to this.
I would say what it did for me, and I think you're exactly right, Joy. I think you are spot on. We know a certain type of black man. And it just made me coming from, like I told you guys, military background, my father, my stepfather, seeing men, black men being able to go against the odds of what's going on out here in society. My father's from Brooklyn, New York. My stepfather is from somewhere in the depths of Georgia. I have no idea. I've been there a few times before. It's they still to this day have dirt roads,
Oh
right?
wow.
Like dirt roads, right? Clay, the whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and to see them beat all of those odds and as black men in America and achieve something, and then to be sent off to a school where I'm seeing nothing but listen, all of our schools, North Carolina A&T, Southern University, Howard University, Fisk, these are just I mean they're HBCUs, right, for African American men and women and of course beyond. But we have a lot of international black men, not just from America. But I went to
Yeah.
school with people from a lot of the countries in Africa, right? I went to school with black men from the UK. I went to school from black men all over the world,
Yeah.
right? Not and a lot of people say, well, it's just black people there. Well, we are culturally diverse.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't the same. And to see these black men go against the odds of the world and achieve the things, maybe I am groomed, right? And maybe I don't want anything different than that because I see what greatness looks like. I see how they are.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, I don't. Maybe I don't
And
want
so
anything
you
less.
think it's everywhere. You see it everywhere, so you feel like it's every kind of.
Right.
Well, I ain't
And
gonna
then
introduce
and
what
then
I'm
going from
saying.
that into the military, where I see more black men strive to be
Yeah.
better men.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything different. If you can say I'm
Yeah.
groomed that way, but I do give grace. Like I said, my
Yeah.
father's from Brooklyn. My mother's from Baltimore. I give grace because I know everybody
Right.
doesn't see it my way.
Hmm.
So I give grace to a lot of men, and I don't necessarily, I don't condemn people for the situation that they couldn't necessarily make it out of for whatever reason they couldn't make it out. But babe, I've seen too many great black men. I've seen too many. You're not going to be able to erase it from my memory. I've seen them, and they're out here. And a lot of times, those are the men. Maybe I'm dating the men that's been overlooked by everybody else. Maybe that's what it is.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm dating
Maybe
the
these men
invisible.
getting women in their lives. I always we always have to consider that they're lying.
Mm. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I'm starting to think men are vying for you to settle for them, if that makes sense. But
Wait,
like,
what?
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm honestly like, if the perception is that women want too much, well, then be too much. Be too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it that we want too much, or you don't? You want to stay where you at? Like, you could come up. It's nothing wrong with that if that is the perception. So, no.
Yes. The common sense expert, he says joy is a jack of all trades. Okay? You got to be doing all of that. Mama Bear moments, which I thought I saw her in the back. He wants to collect the woman's coin. Yes, we're talking about common sense expert. That's his goal in life. She says also, I'm sure the woman will throw down a prenup faster than a man would. What is that? XD? I don't know what that is. Yes, my sex is strong. She is supporting what Mama Bear Mamas has said. Thank Mithra. What you saying now? Nah, it's not conditioning. It's female nature from a biological perspective. Is it? Is it? What? Okay. I
I mean,
mean,
most of the time, if you're talking about, I mean,
go
okay,
ahead, Joy.
y'all don't come for me. Um, more often than not, you want people that are like you. I don't know very many of my and I want to choose my words carefully because I don't want to offend anybody at all. But I hot girls, you know what I'm saying? The more city girl, the nails, the thing, what I mean, all of the things. Um,
Don't do that.
um,
Don't do that. Don't do that, Coco.
I don't know many of them that would go to the club or go to certain settings to seek out the doctor or the lawyer or the engineer. They like no and boldly and loudly proclaim that they want the drug dealer. Or so I don't know. I maybe like I said, I don't necessarily know if it's what we are born with. If you socially conditioned to, okay, well, how Ty was like, this is my lane right here. Like, if you haven't been to college or in certain social settings, that's non-existent. So you don't know. You don't know that maybe that's something that you should aspire to have or to be with. Which is why a lot of times in our communities we either want to be strippers or rappers. It ain't no in between. It's like, okay, I either see this or I see what's on television. Like, no, oh baby, it's a lot of stuff in between there. So I think that your conditioning specifically at the ages of entering into adulthood do shape what it is that you want in a mate, seriously, because I can't imagine attending an HBCU. Like, I jokingly but don't jokingly say that I do want the hood, whatever. But I really not, like, for real, I really don't want you in jail. Like, that's not attractive to me. Like, what I'm saying? You can look like it a little bit, but I really do not want that. Whereas there are some women that may have not attended college or anything. And I'm not saying that they're correlated. I'm just using this for an example. But that might be okay to have the man making this call is collect from. Like, no, ma'am. Like, absolutely not. So I really, I think I really think that does have something to do with it. Because, like, you can't be born into wanting the man to be calling you once a week from the penitentiary.
All right. Well, we got one person in the back. We're gonna bring up Mama Bear Moments.
But I know.
Welcome.
Hold on, guys. I listen. So because Mama Bear Moments is like a pseudo, co-host with us. And ladies, I have to dip out because I am in the middle of like slumber party and everything, mom things, right? So
Yes.
I appreciate that Mama Bear came up because she is like our pseudo co-host on this, and she's like
Yes.
one of our best moderators in the chat. So at this time, I'm going to have to peace
All right,
out
Ty.
on you guys.
Thank you so much for
Mama Bear
showing
got the
up today.
black on too, so she's
Yeah.
already on code. You understand?
Yes.
Hey, Mama Bear, I love you, sweetie, but I do have to run. Thank you, ladies. I will be listening, but I gotta, you know, be in
Get
my own
active in the
code now.
chat. Stay
All right,
active in the
y'all.
chat for us. Thank you, Ty. Yes. Mama Bear Moments is here to co-host. You go ahead and take up, let us know what you think about the subject tonight, the topic tonight.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
It's a
ma'am.
little staticky.
Awesome. Oh, it's staticky?
It's a little like I can hear air, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Maybe
So,
it's my headphones. Okay. Well, if something happens, let me know. I didn't know if you wanted a woman's opinion tonight or not. I
Oh
used to say
yeah,
to
of
come up to
course,
me.
of course.
Well, personally, for me, I think that settling is subjective for like both men and women. Like some of my personal deal breakers when I entered the dating realm was or were like no drinking, no smoking. Um, if you were active duty military, if you were a cop, it was like a no go for me. I wasn't negotiating sex before marriage. Like I think those were um, deal breakers for me personally, just because I had my life. I guess the picture of my life structured in a certain way that I wasn't really able to or willing to negotiate on. And I kind of categorize it as like there are green flags, like for people that I would wholeheartedly like pursue. There are yellow flags and then there are red flags. So my deal breakers were like categorized as red flags. And it's just weird because like I have a neighbor, she's single and she went out on a date and she came back to me, was like, "Oh my gosh, he was wonderful, but I'm not going to see him again." And I was like, "Well, why? If he was wonderful." And he was like, "Oh, well, because he didn't know how to match his belt to his shoes." And that was a red flag for her. And I was like, "Well, to me that's a yellow. That's not a deal breaker." So that's why I just feel like there there might be a disconnect when it
Yeah.
comes to like what you're willing to settle for,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
what would you, okay, so this lady, she said like the belt and the shoes not matching was a deal breaker for her. Like what do you so you said that they couldn't drink, they couldn't smoke, like just it was like no way, not if it's like occasionally, socially, like you there was a hard no for you.
Mhm. Yes.
Wow, okay, okay. Well, I don't think I have anything that's just like a complete hard no. I'm probably a little too flexible. I probably have always been a little too flexible, like with these deal breakers or whatever. But I don't know. So, what do you think about like the financial aspect of it? Because I know that's always kind of an issue, that the topic that comes up, like how much money you know a person makes. Which I mean, I don't. I say it doesn't matter, and it doesn't. But I just think that if a person is comfortable themselves with what they make, then it'll be easy for me to deal with them. Because sometimes they have an issue with it, not the woman or whoever the other person is. So what do you think about that?
So, me personally, when it came to finances, like I was raised in a military household. Both my parents were Air Force, so I was around military people for I think all the time. Um, so it was just really weird to me because a family could go from living in a six-figure household and then all of a sudden they're severely disabled and that money is no longer there, right? So I figured there's a baseline, and I think for me personally, I wanted my partner to at least make 60,000 a year, at least. Um, but also I would be willing to negotiate because it's like, okay, well, if you make less than that, but your benefits are outstanding, and do I want to work or do I want to stay home? Like, I think, and where you live, right? Because I live in Texas. So a lifestyle in Texas is much easier to afford than a lifestyle in California.
Right.
So, like, I totally get when women are like, well, I want a man to make what I make and more. And in a way, I feel like she's advocating for the man to be his best self. Because if she's able to make money in a world, in a system that's designed for her to be, it's designed different, it's designed for women to like have to overcome more obstacles, especially like me as a black woman in corporate America. Like it's just so much garbage that I have to go through that my white male counterparts don't, right?
Exactly.
And I would even say even white women struggle too. You know, regardless
Yeah.
of what men say, women have it. No, we don't. In a lot of aspects, we really don't have it easier. So I do think that there's no problem with a woman asking for a man to make her salary or more. I just have a problem with like, oh, I make 100K, so he needs to make 300K. It's like you're narrowing your pool down to like a
Right.
finite amount. Because if you find that person that makes the 300K, there's no telling if he's going to want you or not. So I
Right.
feel like in that framework, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And that's what I want people to be in relationships and happy. But it's just like I, I I understand the struggle of like what women are going through, but I also understand what men go through.
Yes.
Because it's like
Yes.
I do think that women technically have more options because what one man is not willing to do, another man is,
And they keep saying they
and
can't
men
get
have.
women. They keep saying these men are not getting women out here. But I just don't. I don't get it. And then out here trucking has the nerve to put a cap up here. That cap was
Who
for me, I
capping?
guess.
Well,
Who
That
capping?
like
he said I was capping. I mean that wholeheartedly. Now I want you to make enough money that you are happy. Like, of course I'm
well,
okay either way. And
did you?
I'm
Oh,
not
sorry,
high
go ahead.
maintenance, even though some people might think that I am. I don't know why, but if you're making enough money that you're okay with that, and we can do some of the things, take care of our needs and some of our wants, not all of them, but that's not a cap. That's the truth. Because really, it
Have
boils
you heard
down to
of
me with the men who are not content. They're not comfortable with themselves. Sorry,
Have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
a little bit.
Like Doctor. So he went on someone's show in the Manosphere, like one of those podcasts, and he was talking about just like what men expect from women and what women expect from men. And he flat out said, if a man is not being chosen, it's the man's fault because women have the higher burden and have worse outcomes for the future if they choose wrong. So if a woman is not choosing you, there's something about that man that's telling the woman that it's a no-go. Because if she's stuck with a baby, if she's struggling, like there are certain things that a woman can't do. Yeah, like there's certain things and certain jobs and even the way society is structured, it makes life much harder for a woman to get ahead in certain things and to take on certain jobs. So if a woman is not picking a man, there's a reason for it. And it's because men structured the world in such a way that made it that way. You
Yeah.
you blame men for not women not for wanting to sleep with you, but then if she sleeps with you and becomes a single mother because you won't marry her, you're going to shame her too. So that's why it's
They need to pick a
like
struggle.
like it's confusing. That's it's like but like men have this issue, men have that issue, men suffer more and it's like okay, well, who created that system? Who set the guidelines for that to happen? And it's not women because women were restricted. And I don't personally identify as a feminist or anything because I feel like with all ideologies, there are limitations to them,
Right.
right? So I don't want to limit myself in that regard. But I am pro accountability, and a lot of men dodge accountability because they want to blame, yeah, I'm going there. Let's go there. Men dodge accountability and blame the woman because a woman is afraid to match a man's energy for fear of physical retaliation. And a lot of men, they don't give a damn. It's like,
They
oh,
don't.
well, you want to go out and have these kids. Why do I have to pay for them? And I understand that the child support system is structured in such a way that it's very harmful to men. But most men don't care about other men. Most men don't listen to other men. Shout out to Moose Walks.
They
It's
don't
like,
listen.
so it's like, and I try to like figure out how to reach like middle ground people and getting all their experiences and like trying to learn more about how other people feel. And I know someone, he's a 2L,
Uh
he's a
huh.
lawyer at
Lost.
UT Austin School of Law, and he actually talked about how the 19th Amendment doesn't actually give women full rights. It only prevents people from discriminating and not allowing people to vote on the grounds of biological sex. And every time there's legislation that is pushed through to give women that equal right, it's pushed back and they don't sign it or it's aged out. So we have to start from the bottom. So it's like, yeah, women are not the same. So men have to step up because you structured a system that made it harder for us to get ahead. And here's another thing, like for yeah, I'm sorry. It's like I hope. Well, maybe I'll piss people off. That's fine. I piss a lot of people off anyway. But it's like women are killing it. Women are getting the bag. Women are doing well in life. So how are mad at women for doing better in a system that was designed for men to win? Like I, I,
Let's
you
I
go
know,
mean, if
back.
I was a man and that was the case, I would feel like a loser.
it's
Oh,
just really weird. Like,
it's
and
bad.
here's the thing: it's not the men's fault. It's
No,
Is
not
it,
that it?
their
it, so
fault.
it
But
depends on what she just said. That's literally what she's saying. Like, she's like, how you failing in something with a rules? You made up the rules and you failing. Like, how does that work?
it,
And
like,
common sense
Okay,
expert,
I'm
he says, in Allen, so you would you date a man making 42K? Y'all don't know. Would the man date me? That's the real question. He wouldn't date me. That's not my fault. If he, I'm open, but he ain't trying to talk to me, so I'm not talking to him. In Allen, out here trucking, he says, in Allen, you're not dating a regular guy who makes 50K a year. I'm so regular myself. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. I'm so regular. But like I said, these people don't talk to me. They don't talk to me. What can I do about that? Can y'all explain that to me? Now
Mm,
these men are
they
like,
could.
yeah, they too shy to even try to shoot a shot because they like I said, there's something within them, not me. So
can
I
I
don't know.
actually
If they
branch off
try,
of
I
that
don't
point?
know.
Can I actually branch off of your point, and Alan? Because I actually that your point resonated with me a lot because I think I told you guys before that like my husband is white, right? And I'm not like one of the swirlers or whatever, like divestors, and they push this agenda that it's the best thing, and because I like being in the marriage or interracial marriage, I realize how difficult it is. It's like marriage is hard enough, then you're adding like the collision of two different mindsets, two
Right.
different cultures. But it's really weird because when I was actually wanting to date, black men would not approach me. Like I didn't understand what it was about, and like they would work alongside me. They liked me as a friend, but they didn't want to date me. They didn't, it was just like I was like radioactive, right?
Yeah.
But when I started dating my husband up until like now that I'm married to him, a lot of people like, and I would say the majority of the comments come from black men or white women. And white women typically, like, of course, in the comfort of like just talking to my husband, they're like, oh, well, I saw her, but you could do better. Like, and they say things like he's not going to retort, or like a lot of black men they would say like, oh, he's with you because of a fetish, oh, he's with you because of sex. And it's like, well, actually we're not having sex. And he's like, oh, well, once he gets sex he's going to leave you. And it's like, well, I sat on his face the other day and he's still here. And it's like it makes them very mad because it's like it's like you take away their leverage. And a lot of men they're like, oh, well, no one wants to marry you, no one approaches you. And it's like, well, there are women they're like, okay, well, that's fine, but then they get mad because the leverage is gone.
Right.
Like
Right. Because
so
it's like don't ask me that. You need to ask them. Because
yeah,
I'm not the one that's saying no. There's not even a question being asked. Other than
okay,
this one, answer the question, then Alan. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
uh,
But I already know what it is. It's gonna still turn into like, why you got so many packages coming to the house? And I don't want to answer those kind of questions. These packages coming to the house because I like the packages. I hear trucking says Mama Bear. This question is for you.
mhm.
Did you want to date black men back then?
Yes. So this is how I've always been the person to approach. I actually don't like people approaching me because it's like it scares me, it intimidates me because I don't know if you want to hurt me or I don't know if you like you have good intentions, right? So I always did the approaching. So I only exclusively approached black men. I didn't even look on the outside. But it was like, and they were never aggressive about it. They were never ugly about it. But they were like, girl, I need a girl with a booty. And it's like, I need a girl with, if you ain't 180, you're not a lady. Like, and it's like, look, like I wholeheartedly
Like
support that. You're
180
like,
pounds?
that's what they would, or like, you gotta be two something to do something, like, and
Really?
that's what they. And I live in Texas, so
How big
maybe
are these
that.
women?
I'm down here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like, if that's what they want, if that's what black men want, I support that. But instead of trying to become what other men want, I want to be wanted for who I am. I'm not getting a BBL, risking my life for anybody. And it's
Do you
just
want to
like,
Mexico?
no, ma'am. No, gracias. It is like,
Exactly.
so that's why it was just very heartbreaking. And it actually, again, I was speaking with the same woman who's white that, um, and the one is like, well, you don't need to change your body for a man. You need to change your man, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think, like, I don't view men as um like disposable, right? I don't like, oh, if he doesn't like me anymore, I'm just going to move on. No. But there's just something to say about just finding someone that likes you for who you are. And she said, she was like, why don't you date out? Black men date out all the time. And that's when I started to just be like, you know what? I think I can do this. And, of course, a lot of white men, they're like, hey, I prefer my own race of women. Totally down with that. But then when I found my husband, it's like, it it clicked. And that's why a lot of people, like, when they talk to me, they're like, wow, it's like your first boyfriend and you married him. I was my husband's fourth girlfriend, but it was kind of weird because his mother thought I was just an experiment or a fling, and then when we got engaged, she was pissed. And she's like,
Wow.
"You had all of these other women, and you were dating them long. Like, why didn't you like?" And yeah, but I don't know. It's just
The drama.
and to address things, men did not want to talk to me. I was radioactive. It was with approaching, right? Like, I approached these men and I talked with them, and that's when they decided to disengage. Not the fact that I didn't want men to, what's it called? Not sure what type of men you're approaching. I was approaching pretty much people like me, like the people that like anime, the people that were, because I was in college, so people that were in my college or my subject of study. So, I mean, people are gonna say what they want to say, but I'm kind of used to it. But yeah, just thought
Yes.
I'd share that. Like, you guys are worthy of love, and like, I'm kind of weird. So if I can get married, I'm sure you guys can, if you choose to, get married or find someone to enjoy life with.
Girl,
Yeah,
this
I
man
love
crazy.
that.
Can't,
Thank you so much. I think
can't,
that was a good message because Lord knows I'm gonna be me. I don't know how to be anybody else. Um, so I definitely understand your message. Certainly resonated with me. Did we talk about y'all's deal breakers? And Alan said her deal breakers, right? You
did I?
said she don't have none.
Huh? Oh, that I
You
don't
said
have any.
none?
I'm too flexible. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What?
I'll tell you mine. I I compiled my list. Um, and it's crazy. Like, it's really not nothing, but it's something. So you can't beat me up. I'm too small for that. I'm 4'11". You win. Like, you can't hit me. You can't. You going to jail. Period. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm nothing. Nope, not happening. None of that. Um, bad chemistry. Like, because I think I talk about all the time. I like to laugh. Like, we need to be able to go back and forth. Like, we got keep up. You got to keep up with me. You know what I'm saying? I love chemistry. Like, we don't have any chemistry. You done on the spot. Um, somebody that's not a sports fan. Like, I watch football and basketball. I pay attention. If you can't If we can't quickly like, oh my God, you see that the Panthers got the number one pick. Yeah, they gonna fumble it. Boom. Next time it's like we gotta keep up. You gotta keep up. I love sports. Um, Deal breaker for me is somebody who's unaware of what's going on in the news. Like that makes me feel like you don't care about what's happening outside of your little world. And then this one, which I feel like kind of brings all of those things together, is somebody that a deal breaker for me is someone that is stagnant. Like there's a difference between stability and being stagnant. And I think sometimes we get to a place in life where we're like, oh, I'm cool, I'm coasting. It's like, no. You can elevate, you can continue to move forward, you can move up. I'm very ambitious. And for someone to not have ambition to push me and think these big ideas like I do is extraordinarily unattractive. And I'm gonna be like, no, thank you. So those are my things.
I have some updated deal breakers that weren't deal breakers. Mama's boys.
Ooh, girl. Oh my
And
God.
I ain't talking about just, you love your mama, you help take care of her. She old, she, a nice mama. I'm talking about them husband sons. Talking about them, and that's the problem for me. And it's like, look, what y'all do? You gotta pick her up every Sunday and take her buy groceries. Like what's your relationship like? I need to know that. So that's updated. Cause it's like, typically you want to hear, oh well, he has a great relationship with his mom. It's like
No.
it's like no, they doing too much, and that's why she out. But you know what? Maybe it's not new because she always had to have her own man. I'm like, it needs to be your daddy. It needs to be her new husband, and then she needs to have a boyfriend. She needs to have a little friend, whoever. She needs somebody that's not you. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's
That's a
it for the
really
most part.
that's
Yeah.
a
Oh,
really good one. Because I
can
feel
I
like
actually?
it's a
Oh, go ahead.
psychological problem when you a mama's boy. Like, what's going on here? Why?
Like, yeah,
Why?
you could be cool with it. Like, that's don't please y'all. Don't get me. I'm talking about these extreme cases, like really extreme. Cause I'm
Mhm.
close with my family. Like my family's close on both sides. Like my
Mhm.
my dad's side and my mom. So I understand like the family dynamics. But it's like when it's too much that you can't have a family over here, it's too much for me. It's too much.
Yeah.
Hey, and Alan, could I actually expand on your point about that deal breaker and
Yeah.
like leave like a small tidbit um, of advice? You don't have to take it, but
Oh,
just to kind of help
yeah,
you.
I have a response to whatever it is. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So my first thing, just about mama's boys, or I think that it's kind of like what Joyce said, where it's signs of like psychological issues because, and it's not the boy's fault or the man's fault, but like
Yeah.
the mother son bond is a very strong and it's a very important one, right? But I feel like a lot of women stay in relationships with husbands that are emotionally neglectful. So what they do is they turn towards their sons to fill that need for emotional connection, which turns them into like the son husband. So I don't think you're wrong in that being a deal breaker. And my last thing before I go back in the chat and mod for you is just for you and Joy and whoever's watching it. Don't invest your too much of your time trying to clarify points because I feel like people will be dedicated in misunderstanding you on purpose.
Oh, girl,
And
I
I've
know.
noticed that a lot, like with Joy, and it's like
Mhm.
people just like even when I'm talking, it's just like, oh, this is what you mean. No, that's actually not what I mean. Because one of the
The
debate
inferential
topics
skills
that,
in America are horrible. They are subpar.
yeah,
Absolutely correct. Yes.
it, it's just like never let, and I'm not calling people the opposition, but like if you have a point, you don't let them define it. You can, if you need some sort
Yeah.
of clarification on something, then yes, or they want to challenge you. But if you say, hey, I want the person that I date to have their own home, and then they conflate it to, oh, he needs to buy a house to date you. That's not the same thing, and they know that. They know that. So don't
Yes.
feel discouraged. Like with me, like I know you guys are in the social media space, you're content creators, and I think you both have careers, but it is nice to get donations, but sometimes it may feel like you have to moderate what you say or adjust what you say to get those donations. And I'm of the school of thought that I want to say what I want to say. Like
Well,
if
we're
you
gonna
don't
do
want to
that. That's
give
what
me
this is.
money,
That's what
Yeah,
this
it's
yeah,
not
like
is.
gonna
if you
get
This
don't,
is
presented.
unsolicited opinions. This is where
We
we,
we
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get it.
yeah. This is a free
exactly.
space over here.
Definitely
Speak
gonna get
freely
it.
over
Yeah.
here. Yes, yes.
Yes, just don't let people shake your confidence. You guys are doing amazing,
Thank
and
you.
I'm going to go back in the chat. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you. That was
Yes. Oh,
yeah. Girl, let me tell you. No, baby. My opinion is what it is. It's based on my life experiences. It might not go what you want it to be, but your experiences in life and my experiences are very different, and it's okay.
it's too
It's
close.
cool. It's cool.
Yes. Yeah,
But
and even like with this, I understand like the source of it, where it comes from, but that's the it doesn't change the reality of how it is. So it's still like I can be understanding to a certain extent. Then it's like okay, whatever, you know. So that's still is what it is with the deal breakers. But other than that, what else are they saying in the chat? The common sense expert says what? Establish boundaries. That way your man know that you're the number one woman in his life. These people have been doing this for this person's entire life, you know, and they could go only so long with that game. But your boundaries have to be like a hard line in the sand. Like I'm not budging from it, period. And that's easier said than done. For me, it's from my experience, it's been easier said than done. But do you have anything else, Joy? Because I feel like we can go and wrap this thing up. They don't want to come up. Nobody else wants to come up.
no, no.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess so. But I mean, I think this was a good conversation to have, and just hear different opinions about, as he talked about boundaries and discussing, the subjectiveness of what settling is. Because it definitely sounds like a dig when people say it. And I know that's exactly how it's intended to be. But if that isn't my definition of it, then it's okay. We just gonna agree to disagree. I think that the takeaway here, for younger women, you know, you like what you like when you like it, and it's okay to change your mind. And sometimes it's not going to work out in your favor. It's okay if it doesn't. We got to go back to the numbers. There are a finite number of men, and so we outnumber them. So if it feels like, oh my gosh, I got to change everything about me, who I am, change my clothes, my hair, my nails, and you morphing into somebody else, that still don't guarantee that man gonna want to marry you. That still doesn't guarantee that the man gonna want to date you. Like I don't want to ever see women change who they are for the specific purpose of trying to be with somebody. Like if he wants you, he gonna have you. Period. Again, like I would have never seen this Diddy Carisha thing. Like how, why? I'll never understand it. And that's how it is with a lot of couples and a lot of different relationships. Your boundaries are your boundaries, your requirements are your requirements. Will you look back in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and say that was dumb? Yeah, you definitely will. But you don't know that based on your limited life experience at that time. So, as you evolve, your choices in friends even like, and I wanted to address that too. Like the number one thing that I don't like about women and women relationships is that we cut each other off of nothing, but that man knocked your head off 75 times and you keep running back. Like you forgive everything with it when it comes to a man, but when it comes to those female friendship relationships, it's like no, she did such and such, and it don't even be nothing, you know. So I think that's something too. You know, you want to evaluate your standards in your friendships too. But y'all, we do appreciate. Oh, I'm sorry. You got what's your closing words? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that's pretty much it for me. We can go through these last few chat, super chat. I mean, what is this? Is this a chat? David says, David Carmina Show, before we wrap, guys, please like and subscribe. The Converses expert wants to know how tall I am. I'm 5'2" ish, something like that. He says it's too early to wrap, but we're wrapping it up. You see, we already missing one of our panel members. David says he agrees with Joy. There are no guarantees in life, and of course, there are not. He also says, salute, King. Common sense. Thanks. Salute, brothers. Mama Bear Mama says, people are going to judge you regardless of whatever you choose, you might as well do whatever you want. And I'm up that mindset because I don't listen. King, sorry we missed you earlier. He says salute to all. Other than that, guys, I think it's been a good one. You want to go and close it out, Joy? You gave us your final words. And guys, we're going to do what we want to do. Life is short. Keep your addictions.
No, I mean, that no, we don't want to keep addiction.
Keep them. You might as well do whatever you want to do.
Mm. Okay, pharmacist. So
Keep them.
yeah, we appreciate you spending the time with us that you spent with us today. Again, we sincerely do love and appreciate all of the support you guys continuing to come back episode after episode. We want to give a special thank you to Out Here Trucking as well as Thane for your generosity
Yes.
today. And we hope to see everyone back here on Wednesday, same time, 9-ish, where I don't know what we'll be talking about, but it'll be something good. It'll be something juicy, and it'll be something where we're gonna give y'all our opinions about whatever's going on in life at that time. So y'all have an excellent evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah. You pulled up and sat backstage. What did he say?
He sat backstage. I don't see anybody back here. Unless wait.
I don't see you.
Oh, did he?
I didn't see it.
Oh, it is in here. You still can
Where?
come. We haven't turned off the stream yet.
We haven't turned off the stream. What you talking about?
I see a message now. Do you still want to come up?
I've been sitting here for a while. That was 5 minutes ago. I didn't see it.
What in our laptop you couldn't up? What? Oh, sorry. Dang, what you doing?
Other streaming.
Yes.
We got this new technology, y'all. Hang on a minute.
I don't see him still. Is it on top side?
Mm-hmm.
I do not see it. I do not know how to pull it up.
Mm-mm.
Okay. This is so sad that we don't know what we're doing. Oh man.
Oh,
I
I didn't see it.
can you hit the
Okay.
link now? There's a link. Can you hit
Yeah,
it?
he hit it.
Are you there? Carla, are you there? What
um,
software?
Evu Mux, EVMUX.
System issues? Dang. Where are you?
We try. Where are you? We don't see you.
We don't know what to do. This is so sad. Square Biz, girl, can you get on here for your phone? We trying to let Thane up. We can't. Okay, she's our technology person. Y'all know it. There she is. She can't. I guess she can't get back on. Dang, we'll be back Wednesday, probably with a better topic. We're gonna get a closing remarks again.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we're gonna go log it out. This is so sad, but thank you again, Thane. Out here trucking, our mods, everybody that supports us. We thank y'all. We see y'all back on Wednesday nights. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Good night.